Oh no, she's done it again. Meghan Markle has just made the judge of Australian MasterChef, a household name, beloved figure in Australia, Ling Yeow, cry during filming.
Meghan Markle is attempting to distract by showing a series of holiday photos, her summer holiday photos on Instagram, despite reports that she made one of the co-hosts on MasterChef basically cry.
But she bullied people in a very unpleasant way over here.
Right. So she's done it again. The MasterChef Australia episode hasn't even aired yet, and the word out of Sydney is already ugly. Meghan Markle, so they say, made one of the show's judges cry on set in front of everyone.
This woman is really not oppressed. She's opportunistic.
A lovely woman named Ling Yeow left in tears over one word. And if you've watched this one for the last 8 years, you're not shocked. You're just counting. She walks in, somebody ends up crying, and she walks out smiling for the cameras. Same trick, new city.
She seems to be an incredibly popular figure in Australia. And given Meghan's track record, I am inclined to believe that these sources to New Idea are correct. She was simply trying to make Meghan feel comfortable, trying to be warm, and you saw that look. Meghan hated her.
So here's the lot. The crying judge, the cooking show that scored a flat 0, the fashion show where she giggled at a girl hitting the floor, and the 8-year pile of people she's left in bits. Grab a cuppa, loves. This one's a ride.
The narcissism and the lack of perspective from this woman is astounding. Let's not forget that Meghan Markle has a well-established track record of bullying. She thought nothing of bullying Princess Charlotte, a 3-year-old little girl. She thought that character building. But when it comes and it's flipped on her, it's like, how dare you call me out for bullying somebody? Because in her mind, like all bullies, it's acceptable to harm others and never get called out for it.
Meghan Markle may have thought her appearance on Australian MasterChef would help, propel her image as a chef, and yet somehow the appearance has turned into master mess. Because according to reports, Meghan Markle made one of the co-hosts cry over the use of the word royalty, which is utterly bizarre as Meghan is obsessed with her own title.
Here's what really went down. Meghan flew into that MasterChef kitchen back in April to play the humble guest judge. Sweet, warm, one of the people. She laid down one rule before any of it, though. Do not call her royalty. Not the word, not anywhere near her. The same woman who slaps Duchess of Sussex on everything she touches suddenly couldn't bear the word royalty.
Meghan Markle in New York, when she went to do an interview with somebody at a friend's house, she had her staff announced into the living room, the Duchess of Sussex is coming. When she went to that restaurant in Beverly Hills or whatever the hell it was, she came in that little golf court, and the reporter said that her assistant announced to the world that Duchess of Sussex is coming. So are you telling me that Meghan Markle, who loves to remind people that she's ranked above everybody else in her mind, would have an issue with Judge Poe saying we have royalty in the house, because that's how Meghan sees herself?
Work that one out. Sydney couldn't. So Poe, being lovely, introduces her on air as MasterChef royalty. A compliment, a nice thing to say with a big warm smile. And that apparently was enough to turn Meghan to ice. The word going round is that her team threw a fit over it. That poor Poe was mortified, wanted to go over and say sorry, and got told to leave it. And that a big chunk of what happened next quietly vanished in the edit.
My belief, Lady C, is that this show actually contravenes the Sandringham Summit Agreement. And it was nothing to do with poor Poe saying royalty. It was to do with the fact that the entire challenge was called a dish fit for a duchess. So there she is using her royal title. And my understanding, Lady C, is she wasn't doing this show for altruistic reasons. She was doing it for a big fat paycheck from Channel 10.
They're calling it personality differences. When a show hides its own footage of its own headline guest, that's not an edit. That's a cleanup job. Oh, and the challenge she set that day, cook a dish fit for a duchess. You couldn't make it up.
Including these pictures showing that vile look, the type of look that she used to shoot at Catherine and Prince Harry all the time, just days before the airing of the show, which was meant to be a big moment for the fake Duchess.
She had them slaving over a hot stove for her like she was working royalty, the exact title she'd banned out loud an hour before. One rule for the little people, another one for her. And here's the real tell. The contestants kept walking straight past Meghan to ask the other judges for help. They bought the biggest name on the planet, sat her front and center, and the cooks treated her like a bit of furniture.
using her Duchess title in order to make money in the entertainment industry. So the fact poor Poe mentioned the word royalty is totally irrelevant to that. It's the use of the word and the term Duchess as part of a challenge in a reality TV show, which I think would have left the late Queen Elizabeth II completely horrified.
Why would a warm, funny, much-loved woman like Poe end up in bits standing next to her? Simple. Meghan can't stand being outshone. Poe walked in brighter and better liked than Meghan has ever managed to be. And that was the problem. You'll see that same pattern all the way through today. First though, the one small question nobody in Montecito wants asked. Can this woman even cook?
Meghan Markle claps back and says that she doesn't understand why the Judge Poe would be upset. She had a wonderful experience, never from the point of view of the bully, because she's only thinking of herself.
What I do have is a very particular set of skills. Skills I have acquired over a very long career. Skills like, just give me a sec.
Writing stuff on bananas?
Let's look at the receipts. Her big Netflix cooking show, the one she pinned her whole comeback on, scored a flat 0. 0% from the critics. Not low. 0. You have to work hard to earn a 0. The critics didn't just dislike it, they gave it nothing at all.
I don't think anybody at Netflix could have seen the show before it went out, because it's not entertainment, it's not edifying in any way. It's really, really bizarre.
And when Netflix somehow handed her a second season, that one sank too. Some reviewers reckon the only reason a soul tuned in was the faint hope Harry might wander through the background. It couldn't even crack Netflix's top 300 shows. 300. A real live Duchess on camera, and the world would sooner watch paint dry.
I think her PR team launched out with some feelers, trying to see who might be somewhat interested in her appearance. And she was like, yes, let's do MasterChef. Because one of the things Meghan Markle has tried to do, and we've gone over this, but it's worth reiterating, is that she has a business based in the kitchen. She has a show based in the kitchen. But unfortunately for the woman, I don't think she enjoys being in the kitchen. And that's a really, really hard sell.
And here's the kicker. She still talks about that show like it was a runaway hit, still calls herself a cook, a host, a lifestyle queen, a flat 0 on the board, and she's out there taking a bow. Then came the copying. She's been accused of lifting the whole show off Martha Stewart, right down to the look of it.
What is it like to watch other celebrities, Gwyneth Paltrow, Meghan Markle, going in your footsteps and following something that you've really started?
I don't mind. Good luck. Meghan, I don't really know very well.
Others reckon she took Pamela Anderson's cooking show too, near enough shot for shot. And when somebody asked Martha Stewart about it to her face, Martha didn't even bother fighting her corner. She just took the high road and let the silence do the talking. That silence said plenty.
Meghan Markle disputing the frustration report. No, why would Yeow say that? Why would Chef Poe say that? I had a great time. It was fine for me, just like it would be fine for the bully in high school, brutally harassing, punching his or her victim. Because Meghan Markle is a known bully. It's the levels of narcissism that Meghan Markle cannot conceive to actually admit that she is a monster.
When two different women look at your work and go, that's mine, that's not a coincidence. That's a habit. And the best bit? Word is she barely touches the stove at home. There's staff for that. Real chefs, proper ones, trained for years, get brought in to make her show look good. She stands beside them, nods along, and takes the credit. She's even admitted it herself, that she's got a lot to learn in a kitchen, a lot to learn. And there she sits on live TV, judging real chefs who gave 20 years to it.
She's not actually dumb. She is just nails down a chalkboard for me because there's nothing about her that's real. Every time you see her do a speech, every time you see an appearance from her, she's a completely different personality. And this is a woman that, turned around and said, actually, I'm too busy to cook, but I do really know how to make a takeaway look pretty. Let me guess, sprinkle some flower petals on it. Even that, it's like, oh, look, flower petals. Everybody think of me. I sell flower petals, don't you? It's just going to be really, really bad.
This is a woman who tips shop pretzels into a nicer bowl and calls it a recipe, who puts a bit of fruit on a board, scatters some dried flowers on top, and stares at it like she's cured some. Cook from the heart, she tells them. Cook from the heart. To people cooking for their livelihoods, on a clock, under hot lights. I mean, honestly, the viewers clocked it in a second. One of them summed it up perfectly. I changed a light bulb yesterday. Does that make me an electrician? Another said cutting up fruit and putting it on a plate doesn't make you a chef. Thousands of them, all saying the same thing.
She's just someone, cooked up a few dishes and thinks that makes her an expert at cookery, at entertaining, at all things domestic. It's rubbish, isn't it?
She's playing a part she never earned, and she's charging admission. They've even got a word for it now. The fans. Getting Markled. Whatever she gets her hands on, a charity, a brand, a cooking show, it ends up a punchline with her face stuck on it.
When we did our parody of Meghan's stupid Netflix show, trying to make herself into the next Martha Stewart, and we realized her one-pot pasta is just a blatant ripoff of Martha Stewart's one-pot pasta, which turned out to be like one of her most famous recipes. And it's honestly just like unabashed ripoff. I'm sure Martha's heard about it and is probably like, who is this fool trying to imitate that she's me, as she, out of the other side of her mouth, complains about how her castle is too small.
So no, she's not a cook. She's a brand in an apron. But being a fake in the kitchen isn't a crime. Plenty of famous folk can't boil an egg, and we leave them to it. What she does to actual living people is the ugly part, and that's where it turns nasty.
Well, interesting. What I learned about myself is no matter what my name is, or what people call me, I'm still the same person.
Meghan, off.
Here's the thing about Meghan. Nobody's meant to say out loud. She enjoys it. Other people's bad days seem to make her good ones. Think back to Paris Fashion Week. Big Balenciaga show, front row, cameras everywhere. A model comes down the runway and stumbles, goes down, hits the floor in front of the whole world. A horrible moment for that poor girl. And Meghan, caught on camera having a little giggle about it. And here's the detail that finishes it off.
Did you see this moment right here? It was almost as cringe. She thinks something is funny. It clearly isn't. Turns to Marcus Anderson, her gay BFF who's behind all of this, wanting him to join in. He's like, no way, just turn around, behave. I've got this gig for you, you stupid woman, just behave. And then she's furious.
The second she clocked the cameras had caught her, the face flipped. Straight back to soft and caring, butter wouldn't melt. She found the camera, like she always does. The video went everywhere. The internet called it exactly what it was: zero class. Mean girl, a grown woman laughing at a young girl falling over at her job. The audacity of her. That was the real Meghan leaking out. The second she forgot a camera was on her. And this is not a one-off at one show. Every time she steps out in public lately, there's a fresh clip.
It doesn't work for you to shoulders back, breasts out, headlights going, and try to look as bitchy as possible.
Did you see what she just did? Another wave of people all landing on the same 3 words. So hard to like. There's a reason that phrase keeps coming back around. People can finally see it. So put lovely Poe next to that. A warm, generous woman, adored by a whole country, standing in Meghan's spotlight. Of course it ended in tears. Meghan doesn't share a stage. She can't. She has to be the warmest one in the room, the cleverest, the most loved. And if you get in the way of that, even by accident, even just by being nicer than her, she'll freeze you out and enjoy it.
There could have been something that could have been misconstrued. The judge actually wanted to reach out and apologize to Meghan Markle. I don't know why, but she felt the need to do so. But in Meghan Markle's head, how dare you complain? Just complaining about me being a bully? That is egregious. How dare you? You are cut off. You don't have access to me anymore. It's just like her father, what she did to her father.
This is the whole con, the be kind lady, the one who lectures the entire planet about online cruelty. And behind the camera, she's the one making a beloved judge cry and giggling at a model on the floor. The nice one is the act. The cold one you never get to see is the truth. Here's my honest take, straight up. Every single time this woman walks into a room full of people, one of them walks out crying, every time. And every time, we get handed the same tired excuse. A misunderstanding, apparently, a clash of egos, then a convenient little bad edit.
She's walking around like she's the She's got her arms flowing. She's really feeling her oats. Woman, please go back to California and be with your children and go and find a career other than just being desperate for attention every single day.
Nothing to see here, but you can only hear nothing to see here so many times before you start noticing the bodies piling up. Poe was never bad luck. For this woman, someone crying at work is just a Tuesday. And if you think this all kicked off with a cooking show, sit yourself down. This goes back years.
the fallout between Meghan Markle and Catherine, the Princess of Wales. This was way back in 2018 when no one knew any of this publicly. Only people within the royal family knew the way that Meghan was going on about people within the British royal family. And Catherine had turned on Meghan Markle specifically because of the way that she was bullying staff within the grounds of Kensington Palace.
Wind it back to 2018. Meghan's brand new. The palace is bending over backwards to keep her happy, and her own staff are already running for the door. This is where that famous falling out with Kate really began. Forget the fairy tale about a bridesmaid's dress that everyone loves to repeat. The real reason, the one that leaked out later, was how Meghan treated the people working under her. It got bad enough that a senior aide put it in writing, a formal complaint on the record, saying Meghan had bullied 2 of her assistants clean out of the household. Out, gone, in under a year.
We just heard how Yeow tried to have a sense of humor with her in the kitchen, and yet Meghan Markle was having none of it. I guess for Meghan Markle, sense of humor means mocking somebody like she did Princess Charlotte or even Princess Catherine or anybody around who has worked with her. Yeah, that is Meghan Markle's sense of humor, denigrating, mocking people, sending them to see a shrink.
These are professionals, some with decades of royal service behind them, deciding a job at the palace wasn't worth being in a room with her. They had a nickname for her before most of us even knew her face, Duchess Difficult. One assistant lasted about 6 months. Another woman brought in to steady the ship reportedly compared working for the Sussexes to babysitting a pair of teenagers, then got herself out the first honest chance she got. When the people paid to keep the secret start quietly quitting, that tells you plenty. And of course, nothing came of it.
She wants to showcase that image to the world that she is the one who's the boss, but she's not really the boss.
Harry reportedly begged for the whole thing to be dropped. They ran a review, then sat on it. The findings have never once seen daylight. Right up to today, how convenient. But the women who walked were real, and they were only the start.
Harry just can't give her anything else anymore. He served his purpose. His purpose is over. So it's for her, it's time to move on.
The reporter that actually revealed the HR documentation between senior palace officials, revealing that there had been a number of HR complaints as a result of Meghan Markle's bullying of people, including PAs, that they were wanting to investigate.
And it kept happening. Same story, new city, every couple of years. Like clockwork, by 2021, the reports were brutal. Staff at the palace, it was said, ending up in tears. Routine, normal, just part of the job. One aide, bracing herself before a meeting with Meghan, reportedly told a colleague she couldn't stop shaking before a meeting, with the woman who tells the rest of us to be kind. Then she moves to Hollywood, and the same thing follows her right off the plane. People who worked inside the Montecito operation painted her as a nightmare to work for.
MasterChef drama that's dropping before the even episode airs, which is so incredibly typical for Harry and Meghan, it seems, especially Meghan. Nothing but drama and toxicity follows this woman everywhere, because that's what she does a lot, is make people cry. You get the sense that Meghan lives with no stress in her life, or she's embellishing, which I think Meghan does so much, guys, is that there's kernels of truth in what she says pretty much always, but she always over embellishes.
Storming about, barking orders, reducing grown men to tears. Grown men. And the staff who made it out the other side didn't start a fan club. They gave themselves a name instead. The Sussex Survivors Club. Survivors. That's the word the people who worked for her picked for themselves.
Once a bully, always a bully, isn't that right? That over a long period of time, across multiple continents, multiple countries, there have been a long list of Meghan's victims.
Then take the charity she and Harry put their names to. It blew up in a public bullying row so ugly it ran in the papers for weeks. Another room, another mess, the same smoke drifting off it. Add the assistants, the aides, the producers, the security guards, all quietly gone. Line them up. Palace to Hollywood, to a cooking show in Sydney, one after another. Even the people who cover this stuff for a living have stopped keeping count.
At the time, you saw Meghan try and say that this was all part of a witch hunt and was courtiers working against her with people like me. But indeed, as soon as she moved to Hollywood, we saw the same thing, with astonishing reports coming from Vanity Fair and Hollywood Reporter, and then the damning accusations from Dr. Sophie Chandoka of the Centre Bali organization, which are now due to be heard in court.
Think about that for a second. Not one or two upset people over a long career, but a whole line of them in every single job she has ever had on 3 different continents. Nobody has luck that bad. That is just who she is. So polling Yeow is just the newest name on a very long list, one that started 8 years ago and half a world away. And the second this story broke this week, watch what Meghan did next. It tells you everything about her.
She's not doing this for the money. Don't even suggest it. She's not doing this for the money. She's doing this because it is her love language, okay?
A normal person accused of making a woman cry might send flowers. Meghan sends a distraction. First move, right on cue. A warm little story pops up in a certain American magazine, the one that runs as her personal PR desk these days, swearing she had a wonderful time and everyone adored her. Sourced, of course, to someone close to Meghan. Someone close to Meghan. We all know who that is. Convenient timing, that.
Not surprised. Meghan has this reputation. And so now they have to go with a positive spin. Oh, no. Meghan had a great time on MasterChef Australia, sources say, disputing frustration report. It's just a propaganda outlet anymore. They're not really doing any real reporting. I don't really trust any of their royal reporting, except for something like this, because I know they got it from Harry and Meghan's team. And the point is that they got it from Harry and Meghan's team so that Meghan can dispute public narratives.
Second move, the real giveaway. Her Instagram, dead quiet for weeks, suddenly explodes with holiday snaps. Look, we're in love. Look, the beach. And there's the picture-perfect family right on cue. She dropped the whole lot on the exact day of a certain young prince's birthday, so the actual working royals couldn't get one nice day to themselves. She just can't help herself. Funny that.
She's attempting to deflect from negative headlines in People magazine, and it's not going to work. And she's also probably trying to distract from Prince Harry's horrific last couple of weeks, where he face planted so hard into the UK, he left an imprint of his face and got utterly humiliated by the High Court.
But the one she should never have posted was the one at Althorp, where Diana rests. She slipped a photo from Diana's family home in between the beach shots and the smoothies, like a nice bit of scenery for the brand. A viewer said it better than I ever could. Nothing is sacred to this woman. She's drowning in a scandal about her own cruelty. So she reaches for her dead mother-in-law's home to make herself look soft. The brass neck of it. Call it grief if you're feeling generous. It looks an awful lot more like a staged little photo shoot. That's the whole woman in a single week. Make a judge cry, then hide behind a magazine, a child's birthday, and a graveside. The cruelty and the cover-up, same person, same day.
She creates this imaginary slight so as not to take accountability for her behavior. And the fact that the royal family are still going at it and endorsing this behavior, it's not helpful. But good on Chef Poe for actually speaking out and exposing her, because I know there's been some clips of Chef Poe talking about how wonderful and beautiful Meghan Markle is. That was at the early stages when they needed to promote this, when they needed to land this woman. The truth has finally come out.
So let's add it all up. Heaven knows she never will. A cooking show that got a 0. Recipes she's accused of nicking off other women. Food she doesn't even cook herself. A model she laughed at on a runway. A judge she made cry on set. Palace staff bullied out the door. Aides shaking before meetings. Grown men in tears. A survivors club with her name written all over it. 8 years, 3 continents, 1 woman, the exact same story every single time.
But I think enough is enough. This woman is a bitch. She's a bully.
Read that list back one more time. Every name on it is real. And every one of them was a person just trying to do their job. And through every bit of it, she plays the queen, the kindness guru, the great domestic goddess of Montecito, the wronged little princess. She struts about like she's a cut above every last one of us, lecturing the world on being kind, then leaving a trail of crying people behind her everywhere she goes. A woman who can't cook, telling chefs how to cook. A woman who laughs at people falling down, telling us all to be gentle. She wants to be royalty when the crown suits her, then runs from the word the second it doesn't. She preaches kindness on a Monday and leaves someone in tears by Tuesday. And she seems to believe, right down to her bones, that not one of us can see it, and nothing ever sticks to her. No finding, no punishment, nobody able to stop her ever quite does. The review gets buried, the magazine runs the cleanup, the Instagram lights up, and off she goes to the next kitchen, the next set, the next person who won't see it coming. The mask never slips. She won't let it. It only ever slips onto somebody else. And by the time they've stopped shaking, she's already smiling for the next camera, telling us all to be kind. Poe, love, you're one of them now. It's a big old club these days, sadly. You'll fit right in. So tell me down in the comments, how many is it now? Count them up for me, name by name. For even the people who do this full-time have thrown in the towel. Who's next on Meghan's list? And does she ever even once pay for a single one of them?
They're wondering whether this marriage can survive it. For now, the Sussexes remain together publicly, but behind Palace and Hollywood doors, the whispers are growing louder that they may be entering a very different solo chapter.
Drop your verdict below. I read every single one of them. I promise you that. And do go hit that like button, and it really does help this channel reach more people who see straight through her. Subscribe here too. There's a lot more coming this week, and you'll want to be around for it. Next up, the Montecito marriage rumors nobody in California will say to her face, and why the timing of that photo dump has people asking a very awkward question. That one's up in a couple of days. Be here for it. This is Star Spotlight, where the mask always slips in the end, and we're right here watching when it does.